This camera was my first DSLR, and this camera is basically a spaceship. Today, we're putting a 20-year-old Canon Rebel XTi up against a modern Canon R6 Mark III, not to crown a winner, but to answer one question. Does newer actually make you a better photographer? What's up? I'm Ben Yanto, a food and lifestyle photographer based in San Antonio. And today I wanted to talk about the Canon XTi, which I had recently picked up for $100 for the body and the kit lens. I said to myself, why not? This was the camera I learned on. No YouTube tutorials, no presets, no eye tracking, just vibes and a ton of mistakes. And then there's the Canon R6 Mark III, which I'd recently picked up. This is what I shoot with now, and it's fast, sharp, and honestly doing a lot of the thinking for me. Let's talk about the build. So the Rebel XTi feels real simple. It's light, it's plastic, and by today's standards, it feels like a toy, but that's also kind of why it's nice. There's no pressure. You're not trying to make the perfect photo. You just take the shot and move on. It feels a lot like using a camera phone, honestly, but with the Canon R6 Mark III, it's quite the opposite. It feels like a tool. Every button does something, and it feels like it's built for people who shoot all the time and don't want to think about their camera. With one, you're slowing down because you have to. With the other, it already handled most of the work for you. The shooting experience with the XTi, it forces intention. Autofocus is basic. The screen doesn't tell you much. You're thinking about light, making a call, and committing to it. It also brought back a lot of nostalgia. It reminded me of the time of being a complete novice and the excitement I had just learning how to take photographs. It was simple, and that was kind of the point. With the R6 Mark III, I'm moving faster, I'm trusting the autofocus, I'm shooting more frames and letting the tech handle things. And honestly, it works almost too well. It can become a crutch, but going back to an older camera like this, that it almost feels like a punishment. And really, it's not that bad a thing. It's just different. All right, here's the part that kind of surprised me. In good light and with halfway decent composition, the Rebel XTi still looks fine, like actually fine. The R6 Mark III is cleaner, it's sharper, way more flexible, especially when the light starts falling apart. No argument there. If I just threw these photos up on the screen and didn't tell you what camera shot them, most people wouldn't really know. They wouldn't ask, they wouldn't guess, they just keep scrolling and probably like the photo anyway. The biggest upgrade over the last 20 years isn't the megapixels or the specs or any of that stuff people argue about online. It really boils down is confidence. The R6 gives you confidence to move faster, to trust the focus is there, the exposure right, and you're not missing the moment because you're buried in settings. You can just stay present and react. The XTi, on the other hand, is quite the opposite. It slows everything down, makes you think about light, about where you're standing, about whether this shot is actually worth taking. Shooting with it reminds me why I fell in love with photography in the first place. Not because it was easy, but because it made me pay attention. One camera helps you keep up with the moment, and the other reminds you why that moment mattered. So who should use what? If you're just starting out or actually want to learn photography, something like an old DSLR still makes a lot of sense. It's simple, it slows you down, it kind of forces you to figure things out. But if you're shooting professionally, fast-moving stuff or video, yeah, a modern mirrorless is really hard to argue with. Gear matters, sure. I'm not saying it doesn't. It just doesn't matter as much as people online make it seem. If you got an older camera sitting in your drawer somewhere, just break it out and start shooting. You'll probably be a little slower, you'll mess up a few shots, but you might be surprised how good it still looks and how fun it is to use. Go out there and shoot. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what was your first camera?